Welcome back. In this video, we're going to define the term solubility and use it to describe whether or not a solution is saturated, unsaturated, or supersaturated. During this solution process, we have two reactions that are occurring simultaneously. We have both the dissolution process, where the solute is being dissolved by the solvent. It's being surrounded by the molecules of the solvent. We also have the crystallization process. This is the opposite, where the solute molecules are coming back together to reaccumulate. And when we have the rate of dissolution equal to the rate of crystallization, we refer to this as dynamic equilibrium. Now, we've already talked about dynamic equilibrium when we looked at vapor pressure. When we had the liquid form of a substance that's evaporating, it increases the vapor, the pressure of the gas up above it, but the gas then eventually comes back down, reforms those intermolecular forces, and forms the liquid. So in a similar way, we have the dissolution process where the solute dissolves, and then the crystallization process where the solute reforms. The solubility of a substance is the maximum amount, typically expressed in terms of grams or moles, the maximum amount of a solute that can dissolve in a given volume of solvent or a given mass of solvent under a certain set of conditions. Typically, we're looking at the temperature and or the pressure. A common misconception is to refer to solubility as the ability to dissolve, but we know that that's referring to something being soluble. So there are three main factors that affect solubility: the type of their intermolecular forces and the strengths of those intermolecular forces and how those align with the IMFs of the solvent, the temperature, and the pressure for gases. Let's now talk about saturated, supersaturated, and unsaturated solutions. So as I just mentioned, solubility is the maximum amount of a substance that can dissolve under a given set of conditions. Well, what if you dissolve less than the maximum amount? In that case, we would say that the solution is unsaturated. When you have an unsaturated solution, you will not see any undissolved solute in the bottom of your beaker. So for example, let's say that we take 30 grams of sodium chloride at room temperature and add it to 100 grams of water. If you mix those up, you would end up with an unsaturated solution. In other words, we could still dissolve more sodium chloride in the water. However, a saturated solution is one that contains the maximum amount of solute that's soluble under those conditions. So when a solution is saturated, we say that we have reached the maximum solute, or we have reached the point that we have dissolved enough of the solute to reach its solubility. In this case, some undissolved solute may still be present, but it does not always have to be. So for example, we have 40 grams of sodium chloride at room temperature, add that to 100 grams of water, we're going to end up with a small amount of undissolved sodium chloride left over. Now, the edge case where we might have undissolved solute still, or where the undissolved solute may not be visible, is if we reach the exact solubility in our solvent. So if sodium chloride solubility is 37 grams per 100 grams of water at a given temperature, and we put in exactly 37 grams, then the solution will have no solid on the bottom, but it will still be saturated. The third category deals with supersaturated solutions. And this is where we have a solution that contains more than the maximum amount of solute that should be soluble under those conditions. This means that the solution is unstable. The way to make a supersaturated solution is to start by making an unsaturated solution, and then you slowly cool down the temperature of the solution, so that way the solubility also goes down. If you do that slowly enough, then the dissolved solute particles will stay dissolved, but the solution will become very unstable. Figure 14-4-2 of the ebook shows you a video of that process. Also, very interestingly, rock candy is made by making a supersaturated solution of sugar and then allowing those unstable sugar molecules to crash out of solution and precipitate on the candy sticks. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.